This is Bruce for Ola Prime, taking a look at the pound dollar, crude oil, and the S&P 500 index. So starting with the pound dollar. So we have the pound dollar sitting around a potential support zone. So far it is holding as support from these minor highs right here, and then this trend line, but more significantly, the orange 50 moving average, which is the first touch of the 50 since it was reclaimed back here on February 13th. So you have a rally away from the orange 50 all the way back. First test of support. Many times that test of support will hold. Of concern is this blue 200 moving average here because this drop put the pound dollar back below that, and that is right now at 28.15. So any kind of rally has to get through that if it's going to go higher. But I am keeping an eye on this for potential support or bullish reversal on a shorter time frame. Right now, I don't see anything that I particularly like, but it may be worth watching. Let's see how things play out. Right now, it's not ready to go, in my opinion, but it deserves keeping an eye on it. All right, moving on to crude oil. So in crude oil, interesting that we have the lowest relative strength index reading since back here in November 2021, number one. And if you're watching crude oil, you can see we've had an extremely sharp sell-off here, and it is rapidly heading towards the completion of this ABCD pattern here around, or looks to be rapidly heading, I should say, around 57.22. We also have this previous swing low right here, 57.03 from way back here. Let me just go to the bigger chart here for a second. We'll go to the weekly. So back here, minor swing low here for March 2021 is in that zone, and there's also the completion of 161.8% extension of this retracement, the retracement of this rally. Um, so there's a few levels approaching that could put a stop to this decline. Right now, obviously, it is in swan dive, as they say. Okay, moving on to the S&P 500. Now, the S&P is in an interesting position because if you look at a couple of things going on, number one, look at the relative strength index. Now the low, this is on the weekly. Okay, let me go to the daily first. Okay, and on the daily you see it on the daily, not since again January 22, way back here. But what is interesting here is if you look at the prior, going back to the weekly, put more on the screen here. So you can see the last two big corrections were 35% and, whoops, sorry, 35% and 27%, and this current one is 21%. So that by itself would indicate, hey, maybe there's some more downside, just based on that relationship. Um, Going into the daily now, I'm not saying there is more downside. I'm just saying that's what that would kind of indicate. We need to keep an eye for additional clues. What's interesting now on the daily is we have a break below this rising trend line, and we have trading continuing to happen below that line, and a daily closes below that line. Now, a line by itself is not really enough of an indicator, but we have a other signs of strength like the attempt to rally today and found resistance at this previous swing high right here. That's where the resistance level was. Resistance, resistance. Turned back down after testing that resistance. So it's trying to figure out what it's going to do next. Certainly, this is a very sharp decline. You could see that a 127.2% extension of this falling ABCD pattern was completed recently. And then the 61.8% retracement of this larger upswing beginning from way down here. So there's no sign that the selling is over yet, although it is reaching more extreme or more significant oversold conditions. Not that that means it can't stay there for a while longer, and that's why I say we still got to. There's no sign that we're going to see much more, and then downward pressure so far. Anyway, that's what the technicals are telling me. Anyway, okay, that is it for today. Everyone have a great week.